Hello, hello, welcome. We have a few minutes here to get everyone joined. We are doing something different today. We are crocheting, so that's exciting. And we have a very special guest. And
I'll just wave. I have the camera set up at the crochet, not my face. So you'll just have to assume that I'm here.
You have to assume that you're there, the real person. All right, well, we're going to get started. This is recorded, so if you come in a little late or you want to see this again, you can look at it. I'm Suzanne Nielsen, but today I am not teaching you anything. I am just helping out, and we have a very special guest. Mary Beth Temple is with us, and she designed this beautiful crocheted poncho here. And so she's going to teach us how to do granny squares and get going with that. So this is our, what is it? Oh gosh, I don't know if it's here. It's like our 53rd, I think, Tutorial Tuesday. And we have another follow-up one next week. I do get to give out a $25 gift certificate, so pay attention, and it will be done in our chats a little bit later on. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors, Zen Yarn Garden. You can get this kit to make this, the pattern and the yarn, through Zen Yarn Garden, and they do support our design, us as designers. So let's see, we're going to get started, and I will find Mary Ann to get you on here. Actually, maybe Roxanne will do that for me, but there we go. Yeah, so we're going to get started. She's going to teach us these granny squares today and maybe give us a little bit more about her as a designer. And yeah, take it away, Mary.
Okay, it's Mary Beth, actually not Mary Ann.
Sorry.
Well, that was close enough. Y'all know who I meant. So I have been around for a long time. I've been crocheting and knitting and sewing and designing and writing books.
And just recently a TikTok sensation, I believe we said today.
We were talking that earlier. If you want to follow me on TikTok, it's MBT, which is EMMBEETEE. And I have a crochet video that is coming up on 200,000 views. And I will never understand why, but here we are. Anyway, I've been working with Zen Yarn Garden yarns for a very long time, and I love them. And so that piece that Suzanne was wearing is built in separate sections, but you make each section and then crochet the next one on top of the one that exists. So when you get to the very end, you're done. You have to weave in some ends, but it's not like here's 20 sections and you have to then sew all those parts together. So the base of that piece is a 5-round granny square like I have here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to talk about how this granny square is made. Now, I do want to say there are as many ways to make granny squares as there are crocheters. So this is the one that you're going to use in this pattern. But if you've learned a different way, that's okay. There's other ways to do it. But I want to get started with this center section. Oh, and the last thing I want to say, these are not the colors from the pattern, and I'm using a bigger hook. But the reason I'm doing that is I want to make sure you can see what's going on. So if I use the beautiful speckle yarn that I used in that piece, I feel like it would be a little difficult for you to see on your cameras. So we're going to jump right in. So the first thing I'm going to start with, oops, hit the camera, sorry, is called a magic ring. And this is how you make a magic ring. Now, I use this start for a lot of my crochet in the round, whether it's a granny square or a circle or a hat or whatever it is. I find this the nicest way to get started. So I'm going to bring my yarn up over my index finger. And you can see I'm spreading my index finger and my middle finger a little bit. Now I'm going to bring this under the middle finger and make an X. Now, here's my hook. I'm going to go under this part of the X. I'm going to grab this loop and pull it up. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time because if you learn nothing else tonight, this is a super great trick to learn and you can use it in a lot of different crochet patterns. So there's my X. I'm going to take my hook. I'm going to put it under this leg, grab my yarn and pull it up. So now I have a loop on my hook and I'm ready to get started. So to begin, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to put 11 double crochet in the ring. And the pattern tells me that the chain 3 counts as 1, so it's this plus 11 more will give me a total of 12. And it's okay that it doesn't look very ring-like right now. I'm just getting started. So just a little reminder on the double crochet, and we're going to talk more about this next week, so I hope you come back. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over and draw up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and draw through 2. Yarn over and draw through 2. So that's a regular double crochet. Let's do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over and draw up a loop. 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, draw through 2 times. So I have my chain 3 at the beginning, and I have made 2 double crochets. So I'm going to keep double crocheting, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this pattern. Let's see if I can count and talk at the same time. Always an adventure. So when you learned, if you did, to make a traditional granny square, there's a lot of chains hanging around, a lot of chains 3s, or sometimes what you have to do is you have to slip stitch across some existing stitches to get to where you want to go. I didn't want to see that in this pattern. I really like the top of the stitch and the bottom of the stitch to match. And so this pattern is written in a slightly unusual way, in which I've written it so that you have as few chain 3s, as few slip stitches as possible. So that's why the rounds are different. Let me count. I think I got carried away. There's my chain. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Look at that. Almost like I knew what I was doing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this strand out. You see what's going on here? And I'm going to give it a tug. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to kill me. I started the wrong square. Please don't murder me, Roxanne. All right, so the magic ring is the same one. I can't believe I did that. The joys of live video.
I was wondering how you were going to get these.
I lost my
into
mind for a
4
minute, Suzanne.
groups.
I was doing something else earlier. So there's my chain 3
I thought
plus
it was
2 double
magic.
crochets. We're going to chain 2. Oh my gosh. 3 double crochet in the ring. I was doing hexagons earlier today. It's sad to be old and tired. Okay, here we go. Chain 2. 3 double crochet in the ring. That's it, I'm fired. I said I'm coming back next week. We'll have to see.
We'll still take you.
2, 3 double
It's not my
crochets
choice, but you know.
in the ring. Oh my gosh. All right, letting it go, moving on. And then following along with the pattern, it would have started with a chain 5. You would have joined in the 3rd chain of the chain 5, but I cheated. So, okay, here's what we have going on here. Let's see if I can get, I hope it's not blurry. So every one of these chain 2 spaces is a corner. And so moving forward with any granny square, especially this one, but any granny square, you have to know what's a corner and what's a side. So if you look at the one I did earlier, corner, 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 side. And as you move on with your granny squares, your corners go in the same spot every time for a square. And each side, you have 1 additional shell for each subsequent round. So if I wanted to, I could take this granny square and go on for 200 rounds, and it would work the same way. There would always be 4 corners, and each round would have 1 more shell on the side. So remember when I said I didn't want you to slip stitch across? I just did, because that's the way today's been going. So round 2, following the pattern, slip stitch in the next chain 2 space. So that's my corner. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a double crochet. Now it says 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the same space. So that's 1, 2, and then chain 2, and then 3 in the same space. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to chain 1 and go to the next corner. All the other corners are going to have 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet. So my corners for this pattern are always going to be some variation on 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And then on my side shells, I'm going to have a chain 1, like right here, before and after each side shell. And we'll get to that in 1 minute. So let me finish off my corners here. Suzanne, do you have anything you want to say while I finish this round?
Yeah, we have bundles available for this pattern. And let's see, I'll post those too in the chat. And we have them available in this, the electric blue is this colorway. And so it's 3 skeins. It's a blue skein and then the variegated skein and a speckled or splatter of the same, that's the same color as the variegated. So that's why it coordinates, but it contrasts, and you've got that contrast so you can see when you're in person, you can see the difference in the granny squares going around. So but this is also a great pattern for like one of the grab bags or different, you know, let your creativity run wild here. Yeah, and Roxanne posted that in the chat too. So, and we're doing 20% off on this bundle. That's the pattern and the yarn. So take advantage of that today. And yeah, let me, are you ready back? You can take it back, Marianne.
I'm ready. I'm ready. All right, so I'm going to finish up. This is the end of round 2. I have my chain 1 and I'm going to join in the top of that beginning chain 3. So if you can see right here, there's my chain 3. I'm going right in the top. I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And then again, because I'm changing colors every couple of rounds, I'm going to go ahead and end off. So I'm going to cut my yarn. I'm going to leave a nice long tail because I'm going to weave that in later. I noticed that a lot of beginning crocheters cut their tails too short, and then they have a hard time weaving them in. So here's my teeny tiny granny square. And when I weave in my ends, I can pull this magic ring, magic ring tighter. I can make it looser. I want it to sort of go and be about the same size as the other openings in the square. So once I weave that end in, it's all tight and ready to roll. So we have completed 2 rounds of our granny square. Now, again, there are instances in which you would change color and slip stitch and every other thing, but I tried to avoid that in this pattern. So this is why it's written the way it is. So if we move on to round 3, it says join B in any corner chain 2 space with a standing double crochet. So here's what a standing double crochet means. If you've been taught to crochet before and you're you know, taking this sort of as a refresher, we were all taught to put a slip stitch here in chain 3. But particularly with yarn with this depth of color like a Zen Yarn Garden, I don't want to see chains if I don't have to. So I'm literally starting with a slip knot on my hook and I'm just going to make a double crochet. I'm not joining and turning. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just going to put a double in, starting with a slip knot on my hook, and that is called a standing double crochet. And I just think it looks neater than doing the slip stitch in the chain. Okay, it says chain 2, 1, 2, and chain, put 3 double crochets in the same space because we're making a corner. Now you'll notice it's not 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet yet, because I'm going to finish my round in that same space, again, just to make everything look neater. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're putting a shell in that next chain 1 space. And for the purposes of this pattern, a shell is 3 double crochet. Now we're coming up on our first full corner. So we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around. So if it's a corner, it's chain 2. If it's not a corner, it's chain 1. This round is going to take a minute. So here's what I think we're going to do. Let me just finish this shell right here, and we'll go on to the sample. I think that'd be more interesting for you guys. Okay. So the reason, so here's my chain 2 space, right, on my first corner. And there's 3 over here, and I started with 1. The reason is because I'm going to do another round in this color. When I get to here, oh, let me just do it. Why not? When I do my 3 double crochet, chain 1, when I get here, I'm going to put 2 double crochet right in front of the one I already put in there. And then I'm going to join it in the top of that first double crochet that I put in there. There it is. And then I'm going to slip stitch in that next chain 2 space, but note, my hook is already right there. I'm not ending up over here and having to slip stitch across. I'm right where I want to be. Now I'm going to chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet, and then I'm going to do this round the same way I did the previous one. It's only the beginnings and the ends of the rounds that are different, and you're going to have 1 more shell on each side of each subsequent round. We doing good so far, Suzanne? Do we have any questions that I need to address?
I think so. I don't see any questions yet. Feel free to post questions in the chat if you have any along the way.
Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to address, I don't know how we're doing for time either.
We're doing great. You're fine.
Okay. The other thing that we are doing on this piece, which is a great technique for you to learn because you can use it in a lot of different pieces, is we are going to join these granny squares as we go. So instead of making 10 or 12 or however many granny squares there are in that piece, and then having to sew them together or single crochet them together or slip stitch them together or whatever, we're going to join them as we go. And this is part of what I was saying earlier about building each section of this wrap on the section before it. So here's one I did earlier, and there's my 2 rounds in my A color, my 2 rounds in my B color, which I then ended off. And then because there's only 1 round of my C color, I went ahead and I joined it with my standing double crochet. I did 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So I'm working like I normally would. And where it gets different is when I come to this corner. So there's the last shell that I had to do, which is 3 double crochet, chain 1, and now I'm going to start my corner. So I'm going to do 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Now instead of chain 2, I'm going to grab the one I already made and I'm going to line them up so they're next to each other. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to look for the chain 2 space that's directly across from where I'm working, and I'm going to put a slip stitch. So I'm going to put my hook down from top to bottom, yarn over, bring it through that space and also through the loop on my hook. Now I'm putting my 3 double crochets back in the corner of the square that I'm working on. So what's going on here is I've started my join. Let's see if, there we go. That might be easier to see over a piece of white. So now for the rest of this side of this round, not the whole round, just this side, wherever there was a chain 1, I'm going to slip stitch across instead. So now instead of making chain 1 and putting 3 double crochet in here, I'm going to slip stitch in the next space. So once again, hook down from the top, yarn over, bring it through the chain space and the loop on the hook. And now I'm going back to the square that I'm working on. I'm putting in my 3 double crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way across. So again, once you have made all your granny squares, you have the base of the wrap is completed. You've already done it. There's no sewing. You'll have some ends to weave in because that's what happens when you do color work. But you'll have a base upon which to work.
Does it matter which side you join? Like, how come you joined the second side? Could you have joined the third side? Or
I could have, but I've written the instructions to join the second side. Just if again, no, I appreciate it. I love questions. If I was making like a blanket or something, and I was joining on multiple sides, then I would have written the instructions different. But because on this particular wrap, the squares are all lined up in a row. So I only have to join one side. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. But yeah, I mean, there are instances in which you can join multiple sides. You could do it the first time. The idea to have in your head is that you're replacing a chain 1 with a slip stitch. So here I am. I've joined all my sides together. Let's do that again because I think it's easier to see. Can you guys see how it's all joined?
Yeah.
So now I'm on my corner. I'm going to put 3 double crochet. Now there were 2 double crochet in each corner, right? Not 1. So in that case, I'm going to replace one of those chains with the slip stitch. So I'm going to slip stitch over here. And that's the end of my joining. I'm done. Now I'm going to chain 1 and head off into the sunset and finish my round. So the only idea that you have to have in your head is that 1 chain is replaced by 1 slip stitch. And so now I'm going back to putting my chain 1s between my shells because I'm not joining on this side. Oh, we're doing good for time. So what I'm going to do, since I messed up at the beginning, I'm going to go back to the beginning and do the beginning one more time to make sure that you get the general gist. But the 2 most important things that I wanted to teach, one is the magic ring and the other is this join as you go. Now, if you're making this wrap, which again, I recommend you do because it's kind of cool. When we come back next week and we work on granny stitches, so there's granny squares. And the other piece that we have on there, we have some double crochet sections to really show off the depth of color in the yarn, but the edging is a granny stripe. So we're going to work back and forth in rows in these spaces, but we're going to work on that next week. So I'm going to just start over one more time and do the very beginning one more time and, you know, do it right this time. That would be nice.
Yeah. And
So
how about and if there's a chance, after you're done with this, we'll pause and do the gift certificate, and then you could keep doing a little bit more. People could watch if you want to. But.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so I made my X. My magic ring was correct. It was just the first round that was a little cuckoo bananas. So I've done my magic ring the same way that I showed you. I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the pattern tells you that a chain 5 counts as 1 double crochet and 2 chains. So now I'm going to put 3 double crochet in the ring. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3. My yarn's rolling away. Chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy though. I'm going to tighten it up at the end. But I lose count, as you saw me do earlier. So I want to make sure that I'm counting correctly. 3, chain 2. And so now I'm back to the beginning. I'm only putting 2 double crochet here. 1, 2, and I'm joining in the 3rd chain. So there are 5 here. I'm going to leave the top 2 naked, and I'm going to join in that 3rd chain. So there's my round 1, and it looks kind of wonky and loose, but when I tug on this tail, I can get it down to whatever circumference of circle I want it to be, and I can tighten it up when I weave in my end. Now for granny squares, again, I do like a little opening here. I don't like to make it super tight because I like it to sort of echo the holes that we're going to see in the corners. And then to start
it's part of the design then, right?
Yeah. And then to start round 2 properly, we're going to slip stitch in the next chain 2 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then it's 2 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then corners, just the way we did it before.
Mm-hmm.
So Suzanne, I will let you talk, and I will do some crocheting ASMR here.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, just watch you do it. So, okay, it's time for the gift certificate. So open up your chats, and it is a $25 gift certificate that we get to give away tonight. So let's see, open the chats. And my question for you is, what was the first technique she showed us? How does she start her granny squares?
And you'll find out who the knitters are too, because the knitters call it something different.
Most of them, they got it here. All right, so I'm going to take Sherry Ham. You were first, and you got it right, magic ring. So good job, guys. So go ahead and send your email to Zen Yarn Garden in the chat. You don't have to send it to all of us unless you want new friends. But yeah, you can. She'll message you in the chat with your gift certificate, and you can spend that on top of any discounts that are tonight, the 20%. And we have a link in there too for next week. So if you haven't signed up for that, make sure you sign up for next week too. And you can see, so next week it's this border. I don't know if you saw. So right now we're doing the granny squares, but then it's a little bit different to do this border on the edge. And maybe we'll touch base on just the stripes. Yeah.
Yep, we're going to absolutely touch base on the double crochet sections, and then we'll talk about the granny stripes.
Yes, great. I have one question for you, and I'll just get a chance for anybody else to pop in some questions. But do you ever weave your ends in as you go when you're doing this crochet? Forgive me if I'm a beginner and I don't. I mean,
I absolutely do. Particularly, so if you look at the squares that we're doing for the wrap, which I've already thrown on the floor. So, oh no, here we go. If you look at this is the ones that we've been doing, right? We've got 3 different colors, and you have a beginning and the end for each color. So that's 2 ends, 2 ends, 2 ends. So that's 6 ends per square. And we've got one, I don't have the whole pattern in front of me. We have 10 or 12 granny squares in a row. That's like 60, 70 ends. Heck yes.
Don't tell us the bad news.
Go.
Okay.
Pardon?
I said, don't tell us the bad news. I'm just joking, but.
Right. And in fact, let's talk about that just very briefly because we have time. I want to just weave in the end of the magic ring. So knitters tend to say magic loop because we knit socks on magic loop. So that's where I get tongue tied as I do both magic ring, magic loop, magic circle. What the heck is it called? I don't know. So this is the direction that my yarn is feeding. If I pulled the tail about to where I want. When I'm weaving these in, what I like to do is sort of go back in the other direction, and I'll just run it through the stitches that I've already made, just making sure it doesn't pop through the other side. But if you run it back in the other direction, like I just did, then it doesn't want to pull itself out. And again, the thing with these magic circle starts, magic ring, now I can't say it, magic ring start,
Magic ring.
is you can adjust the center. If I was way back in the dawn of time, I did a gorgeous hat in Zen yarn, in the Zen yarn garden, in the bulky yarn, and I did the magic ring as the start. And in that case, what I would do is I'd pull that tail as tight as I could so that all those stitches met. But again, for a granny square, I want that circle to echo the other circles in the square. So I don't want to pull it so tight that you can't see that there's a circle in the opening.
And then when you're going to the next color, can you kind of crochet it in as you go in the edge, or does that not look as good and you just weave them in as you go with your needle?
If again, super technical, if I was not making a granny square, I crochet over everything. Now,
Okay.
even if I crochet over a tail, I'm likely to put it on the tapestry needle and go back the other way just to make sure it's sturdy. But if I was to crochet over my tails on a granny square, I'm going to see the tails, right? I'm going to see them in these open spaces. And again, there are other granny squares that have solid sections that don't have the chain spaces, that are not so open. The reason I went with the open granny square in this particular design is I want to get as much mileage out of my yarn as I can. And I will say I used I made sure that I had at least 10 yards left of every color, because people have different gauges, but I really did use up that yarn on that wrap. So having all that chain space gives me a more open, a more airy granny square. And that helps the yarn go farther, so you don't have to buy additional skeins. We want you to buy yarn, but we don't want you to have to buy 10.
And it makes a nice, like, generous sized poncho. If you can see here, again, I'm tall, remember I'm 6'2", so on me it even still is big and reaches plenty long enough. But
the other thing I like about that style, I am plus sized, and I had that on too. Do you know what I mean? One of the things I like about that is it doesn't really matter what size you are as a human being. You can adjust where you sew it together on your shoulder to your personal preference, and
if you need this
really
bigger
make it comfortable.
neck
Or smaller if you're a smaller person. You know, you can really mess around with it
so it wouldn't fall off.
But you can change the angle. But again, I am a plus size person, and I wore that comfortably before I sent it off to you.
Yeah. And it's really like, it's just got a really nice drape. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but you know, she did a good job making it shawl wearable with the yarn. You know, oftentimes I feel like crochet can be a little bit too dense, but you know, this is combination of yarn and needle size chosen for pattern, and it's a really nice weight, and it's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So that's it for me. I think we're
right. Do we have we're actually good. We're right on time here. So join us next week, and don't forget about your 20% off of these bundles, or take a look at grab bags always and see what you can put together yourself. And we'll be back next week. And so save up your questions too. If you go to bed tonight and you think, wait a second, how did that work out? Be sure to bring those questions back next week. And what else? Am I forgetting anything else, Mary Beth?
No, I think that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'm happy you're here. Yes. I'm happy to get crochet out to people. I'll bring you over to the crochet dark side, kicking and screaming.
Yes, we like it. We multi-stitch wool people here. We like to do whatever we can, right?
Yes, absolutely. So thanks so much for coming.
Yay, thank you.